Right, guys, we are back with gold, but I think gold actually just for clarity, I think gold is selling, okay? But as I've told you guys, I don't always close out my position simply because they're negative. Actually, I want to see structure being broken, then I can know that for sure that gold is going to sell, okay? So we have seen that price has already made a higher high, so I won't close out actually. I'll just let it ride. If we are in loss, let it be, okay? Because last time I closed out a position which turned out to be in profit, and then after some time I regretted the whole decision. So usually I just leave it to ride, okay? I just let the market do its thing, because even though we lose out this trade, we shall find another entry elsewhere. But so far we have seen that gold is now starting to sell aggressively, okay? Anything underneath this level usually sold up to here, so. And since gold is selling aggressively, that means USD JPY should be buying and stuff. But I won't just enter trades just to fill the numbness, okay? To fill up the gap. No, I'll enter trades after I've confirmed that price is now starting to be bearish, and then after that I shall see if I can get entries. Okay, so on Bitcoin previously it has been in a strong consolidation. This is some big consolidation, so you have to wait. But sometimes when you trade consolidations, you have to also look out for price shifting structures inside the consolidation. So you see that from around this area here, price was selling. If you observe, this was a downtrend, and then after they're making higher highs in the market, that means that price is likely now to have a reversal. But now for further confirmation, you go to the high time from like the H4. And from the H4 you see that price has made this huge bullish candle, okay? But we can't take entries yet. We have to wait for the New York session to open so that we can see if we have any other further entries, okay? But Bitcoin is so far looking good. It's looking good for buys, okay? It's looking good for buys, but I don't really trust it that much, because my entries for buys would have been above this area here, and I would have taken the price even higher. But anything underneath this level, I don't really trust it. I wait for price to come above, and then afterwards we could see price actually clearing some orders. From the weekly perspective, yeah, Bitcoin can sell until we reach the next area of support, which wasn't reached the previous week. So price can potentially reach this area of support over here, and then afterwards may have that beloved consolidation and then continuation to the upside, okay? So it may be something like this: consolidation move, a pullback, and then if price breaks above, we shall have a continuation move to the upside. So Bitcoin is currently, as I've told you guys, it's currently at a bullish. It's currently very bearish, and in fact I wouldn't advise you guys to trade it. If you're looking for buys, just be very vigorous on what you're taking, because it's currently very strongly bearish, okay? To be bullish, price has to go above that level over there, and price, if it doesn't go above that level, we are in for sales. So Bitcoin on the overall, I'll be looking for sales, as I've told you guys. And one of the biggest areas where you can take your sell entries is after price crosses this area over here, and then once price comes underneath, that's a good zone to take your sales from. And yeah, that's it for Bitcoin. I won't explain much. That's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. Gold, as I've told you guys, gold is trying to sell, but on the daily time frame, the reason why gold is selling here could be that on the daily time frame we had very strong rejections from above, okay? There are strong rejections from the above. If you had held this trade from the H4 perspective, if you had held this trade from last week, so I entered around this candle here, but I would have been worked out. Anyways, if you held the market from yesterday up to now, would have been in some sweet profit of sales, okay? But it is what it is, okay? It is what it is. We see that above this area, price broke out of this area over here, so anything above this level is good for buys. But price can easily come and clear liquidity, come all the way down here, it doesn't matter. So either gold is entering a new age for sales, or we are just looking for a short pullback before price continues higher. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing so far. That's what I'm seeing so far. So if new, actually, this is what this is my whole query. You see that anything above this level is good for buys, right? So price came above the first time, and I entered my buy positions. Stop loss was underneath the previous low. Okay, so if price manages to cross this area again in the New York session, then I'll enter even multiple positions to hold price until we reach the next area of supply. Okay, so you have an area of supply here, and also you have another area of supply above. So if price breaks above that zone in the New York session, I'll be entering in my buys. New York session, when I trade, is usually at in my local time is usually at 6 in the evening in our time. I don't know where you live. Maybe you live in New York. That could be something else. But yeah, that's it for gold. For updates on US Tech, some people are asking me if they can trade US Tech using ICC. Yes, ICC, yes, guys. It works on every pair because it's all about market reaction. So for instance, let me just give you a simple example. You see that price was bullish until we reach this level over here where price started to be bearish. Okay, so anything underneath this level is good for sales, and we have seen the market reaction. We have sold all the way down here. So if price comes back again underneath this level, we shall have entries for sales again, as simple as that. But yeah, US Tech, I usually to see the market structure clearly, you can go to the daily time frame so that you can see it more clearly. And then if you observe from the market structure perspective, we may actually have some strong sales on US Tech in the next coming weeks, because price is likely to first of all test this area of support before having another move to the upside. But if price creates support along the way, let's say if price comes here and creates support along the way here, then afterwards, and it comes above this level over here, because this was the last low in the market. So if price creates a level of support and comes above this level, then you can easily take your buys up to the moon. So that will be the second entry, and then this is the first entry over here. So many entry positions, but as you can see, this was an area of this area over here. Price was consolidating. Okay, let me just go back to the day one. If you observe this area over here, price made a push to the upside, made a resistance so that it sold up to here. Then after this breakout, what happened? Price came underneath the same zone, and then when it went above the second zone, the second time, it only managed to take out this high. Okay, it never surpassed the original area of resistance. That means that price could be a turn for price to do what? To be bearish. So given that information, you don't even have to hesitate. You go to the H1 looking for sell entries, and from the H1 perspective, price can potentially pull back all the way up to this minor area of support. So if price pulls back to this area where buyers are in the market, then we shall take our entries. But probably US Tech is gonna be starting to buy, and yeah, let's hope. But for gold, as I've told you guys, I'm going to be holding gold trades, and I'll be holding my stance that gold is going to be bullish in the next coming hours, because if anything above that level is good for buys. But to minimize risk, if you guys were in this trade with me, you can close out like at least half of your positions. But for me, I will be holding price until we reach that level over there. This is an area of support, so anyway, an area of resistance. So I want to see the market price reach the sellers in this region over here. Now for other pairs, US oil, there are some people who are trading US oil on the daily time frame, which is good, but on the daily time frame you won't see much. I usually advise that if you want to see structure clearly, you don't go to the most high time frames. So for instance, if you want to trade US oil, simply just go to the H4, the H1. And there's actually on the US oil, there isn't even much information that I can use right now to take entries. Even the M15 is too vague. Okay, we have had this massive sell-off. Okay, you can see the price is very bearish, but we don't have any entries. Okay, so for instance, we know that anything underneath this zone is good for sales. So if price pulls back, collects liquidity, and then after some time, once it goes underneath this level a second time, we shall be selling till we reach this area over here. So for US oil, I won't even look at it, because I know that price is likely to start reversing. So we go to another pair. This is your USD. Your USD has been bullish for the past couple of weeks. Okay, if you go to the weekly time frame, for the past couple of weeks, so we have the first candle here, the first week, second week, third week. Now this is the fourth week. All these candles are showing you that there is lots of bullish momentum. So where did it all begin? it began at this area over here. That means there are strong buyers in the market at that area over there. So that area there, we shall say it's at what? It's at this area over here is at 157. Okay, so that area over there is like around somewhere around there. Okay, so this is where buyers came into the market and took it even higher. So for 4 weeks actually, price has been very bullish on your USD. So if you go to the H1, you don't even have to look so much. All you have to do on the H1 is simply look for areas where you have the swing highs. So this was the previous swing high from the H1 perspective. Anything above this swing high is good for buys. We had the first indication. Now we can look for the second indication for sales, and then afterwards we shall be looking for other entries elsewhere. So if price fails to make a new higher high, we may see if price comes underneath this level, we shall sell, because as you have observed before, this was an area where price broke structure. Okay, we broke a higher low over here, so price continued higher. That means that there are buyers over here. If they're taken over, I'll simply start to sell. Okay, and I'll be holding price till we reach the next level of support, which is around here. Okay, so if price fails, because we have seen that price has been consolidating a lot, so it could simply just fail to make a new higher high, and therefore we could potentially start stacking in ourselves until we reach that area over there. So we don't know when that will be, but probably during the New York session we may see some good moves on both pairs. Okay, so we go to silver. Now the silver market, most of you guys who trade it, you know that it's very volatile also, so you don't want to play with it. Okay, so go to the H4. Silver has been a bit bearish. If you observe, this was the previous level of support. Price broke through it the first time, so if price comes underneath this level the second time, I'll be holding my trades for sales. TP will be underneath this area over here where we have the next support level. So this will be the first TP. Okay, and if price manages to cross this area, then we shall have another massive drop in silver. But you can back that up with data. You can go to your fundamentals, look at what is happening in the silver market. Are there any key information that is causing this massive drain and liquidity? Okay, so given that information, if there is nothing much, silver right now, I see some strong buys over here. We see that whenever price was above this area over here, we had buys until we reached this area over here. So this was the first bullish sign, and then this was the second bullish momentum sign. Okay, so you can buy silver right now. So I will buy silver with a lot of 0.05. Okay, and as you can see, silver is very volatile, already in 25k in loss with silver. But it doesn't matter, because silver is going to start buying aggressively, and we don't want to miss out on that entry. So we shall be buying silver, because I've shown you guys that above this level, if you guys observe from your left hand side, you see that above this level, price, after it broke this level of resistance, it made a push to the upside. So it made a correction here, and then afterwards it has come above this level the second time. Therefore we shall hold price until we reach the next area of confluence where we have a resistance, which is above here. So that is it with silver, and probably we shall hold and see what price gives us. But so far you see that we're in profit on silver. Then for gold is starting now to pick up pace. It's starting to show some signs of bullish. Okay, but we have already seen, look at how many rejections we have in this market at this area. So many rejections. That means that price is not showing any signs that it wants to continue any lower than this. If it does, then we shall just close out, but in most of the cases it will have the enough potential to continue higher. For silver, I've told you that we are above a zone, so we shall be waiting for price to actually start pushing higher. And yeah, that's it for you guys. That's the update for gold, and that's the update I have for silver. So I'll be updating you guys soon. Thanks for watching.